Hey everybody, this is Mr. Hammer. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and let's get this video underway. And let's do part 2 of what's wrong with America. Alright everybody, man, there's so many subjects to choose from. And so I'm going to go with, I guess, the next thing. And again, not everybody's going to agree with me on this. And everybody, please, feel free to comment below. Please, keep the comments clean. For if you can, that'd be awesome. Great. All right. So number 2, traffic. I know this sounds crazy, and this one is a very wide open subject. So we'll start with interstate. So there's a lot of interstates that just the traffic's horrible on, and I'm sure for you people in Philadelphia who are probably watching this video, if you are Philly, Interstate 76 in 81 going through Pennsylvania, it's one of the worst highway systems. The traffic's just bad. I remember, going down 81. I had to get over to 80 to go towards my destination, and the traffic is just terrible. And if there's construction on any of Pennsylvania's interstates, which there usually is, it just makes the traffic situation worse. 81, for example, going through Scranton, right? It should have been a long time ago widened to 3 lanes each way through the city. When you go to central New York, you take Syracuse, which is another thing we're going to get into more in depth in another video. They have 81 better designed. Yeah, it goes 3 lanes up to Harrison and Adams. And then as you start to leave downtown, you're back to 2, but then where 81 and 690 catch each other, it goes back to 3 lanes. So at least New York got 81 right, for the most part, even though it's antiquated, and there's this whole controversy about tearing it down and all that. But getting Pennsylvania, yeah, and I'm sure there's lots of states that many people agree the highway systems are not that good, and it's the traffic. So I'll give you an example. Interstate 70 going through Ohio, Ohio, going through Indiana. All right, so for the most part in Ohio, they got 70 right. It's 3 lanes each way. So, but when you go on 70 going to Richmond, Indiana to Mount Comfort, the traffic's just really bad on I-70, and that's the problem. There's just a lot of the nation's infrastructure. The road systems are just not big enough to handle all the traffic, all our traffic needs. So most interstates, as you know, there are 2 lanes each direction where they need to be 3 or 4. And Indiana, it's right. Indiana's Interstate 70 is one of the worst. I think a lot of people also agree with 465 and 65. The only interstate that doesn't seem to be too terribly bad, but I could be wrong on this, is I-69 going northeast of Indianapolis. But that's the problem. We have a lot of traffic issues, and there's no real plan to address the traffic issues. They in Indiana, for example, thought about putting tolls on 70 and 65, and many people were against it. Instead, try and find other ways. And no matter what way to go, the roads are terrible. Now the solutions are very widespread. I'll give you an example. 81 in Virginia, which is also one of the bad interstates. To sometimes redo an interstate, it's cost billions of dollars. I'll give you an example of something that, Interstate 71, Columbus, Ohio. All right, so at one point, ODOT, I believe I hope I'm saying it right. Sorry to people in Ohio if I'm saying it wrong, but we'll call it ODOT for Ohio Department of Transportation. Said, hey, they wanted to rehabilitate 71. Okay, great. And that was in principle a good idea. The politicians said, hey, well, why don't we just make 71 3 lanes from Cleveland to Columbus? Because the traffic's pretty bad, and it would be beneficial to the community for an extra, and what would the cost be? Now, ODOT did relent on one portion of it. I'm not sure what county it was that they didn't want to do anything with because the traffic volumes were so low. But Ohio did end up widening 71 from Cleveland down to Columbus. So that was a good use of money. And other states could benefit and learn from that. So traffic definitely, I definitely think it's just an issue that's terribly wrong with America. And we could go on about all the interstates. So since I've been picking on the East Coast, ripping up 81, 95, I'll jump 3,000 miles west or the nautical distances, and we'll talk Interstate 5, another horrible interstate. And again, people in Portland have been complaining about the traffic being really bad. It's bad in California. It's bad, in Washington. The traffic's just straight bad. There's no really per se getting around it. So, and a lot of people will also jump on this and you'll say, yeah, the 405 is bad too. Oh, I'm sure it is. The 405, we could just talk about all the interstates is really bad. And another one I'll give mention to is Interstate 25. A lot of interstates just, that's the problem with America, is the nation's infrastructure cannot handle the traffic that's on it. Now, on the subject of Indianapolis, yeah, guys, be aware of it. There is a proposal to widen 65 from Fletcher Street down to 465. That's supposed to, if it goes to plan, that'll start in 2025. So, maybe Indiana's trying to do some things, but it's, they have a good road to improve it. I'm not going to down any particular state, but I will jump over to Oregon and say, the problem with Oregon is it's the people have these ideologies that basically just don't they are afraid of change. I think that's the short, simple stick of it. They're totally afraid of change. And also, real quick, if you're traveling on the roads this weekend, please be careful. There's lots of black ice. Example right here. It's like they're resistant to making changes that would benefit. So, for example, when you go through a major city like Portland, that interstate should at least 4 or 5 lanes going through to allow traffic to go through, and it's not. It's the exact same thing what Scranton, Pennsylvania is on 81. Well, although they have widened it, I guess, a little bit through Scranton, but still, that's so. That I think is probably fair to say that the traffic on the roads are just terrible. Also, it just seems like there's not, each state has its own ideas of what needs to be done. A solution, I guess, would be, and I don't, I'll try to do this, talk about it. Everybody's got their opinion about it. I think the solution is better use of federal dollars. And that can be a topic for another part is, federal misspending. Maybe one that should be done. But getting better, having federal dollars come in and let the federal government step in and widen these roads to make them bigger. Now, I'm slowing down a little bit because there's black ice, guys, and I really have a fear of black ice, just so you know. But if you have to figure out the traffic volume counts. If you have 60,000 vehicles going on a 2-lane stretch of interstate, that's a bit much. Personally, I don't know what the formula they use to determine, but I would think anything over 50,000 cars in a particular stretch roadway, there should be a 3rd lane considered to accommodate that much traffic. So I'm definitely, traffic's got to be definitely up there. And hey, everybody, comment on below what road is the worst in your state. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. So, all right, guys, we're going to continue moving on the video, and we're going to go into part number 3. So remember to hit that like and subscribe button. All right, thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.